Greetings and happy Halloween, Flesh Wound freaks. I am Flesh Wound Dan, and we are back with another entry in Slashtober, the final chapter. I am joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
Pugs Dread.
Namaste.
And Mike Kruger.
Welcome to Primetime, bitch.
So, Kruger, let them know how Slashtober, the final chapter, works.
So what we do for our Slashtober special is rate and review a slasher film, and then at the end of the episode, we'll add that movie to a list compiled from our previous episodes, and then we will vote to eliminate one of those films off the list, leaving us with our top 3 slasher films, aka our 3 final girls. And those 3 final girls will go up against a new slasher every episode until we reach day 13. And when we get to that point, we will pick one of those surviving 3 final girls as our Slashtober tournament champion. So, Todd, now that that's out of the way, why don't you tell us our previous eliminations and what's on the menu tonight?
Thank you, Kruger. Eliminated thus far: a Final Exam, Curtains, a Terror at 10 Killer, Open House, Killing Spree, Crazy Lake, and to everyone, unfortunately for everyone, Scream 1981.
Good riddance.
Up for elimination, or also, coming to the tournament today is The Prey. Dan, why don't you tell us about The Prey?
Absolutely. So The Prey is a 1983 slasher film from director Edwin Brown, and from the back cover, it's not human and it's got an axe. That is a lie. One of the most underrated efforts to hail from the slice and dice boom, The Prey. It last emerges from the VHS. I'm reading what I don't need to read. Let's try it again. 3 young couples set off into the mountains for a weekend of climbing, drinking, and lovemaking. But little do they know, they are stumbling into the terrain of a fearsome predator. A wild man, horrifically burned as a child many years ago in a fire which engulfed his gypsy camp and left only him alive. Now he roams the woods in search for his next human prey. All right, so The Prey.
Yeah, I would like to go first whenever.
Oh yeah, hot tag, go for it.
I've been waiting to watch this movie for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
It's just been on my list forever, but for whatever reason, whenever I picked a new slasher, I just never got around to it. But the Arrow Video cover art of it is really, really fucking cool. And ever since I saw that, I wanted to see this movie. And I'll say, man, I actually kind of love this thing. I mean, so a solid opening scene with a nice beheading. And like, as far as kills, there aren't a ton. But for every kill we don't see on screen, we got really solid aftermath gore. And there's one kill towards the end, like during the final act, that involves like this tree booby trap contraption. And man, like when that kill hit, that was a huge highlight of the movie for me. I mean, that was some wrong turn type shit. The killer I thought was also really cool. I mean, I liked his backstory and also just the makeup. It reminded me of Toxic Avenger so fucking much that like got extra brownie points for that too. And I mean, this is a very basic in your woods slasher, but I think it really does a great job at pulling you into the atmosphere of the woods. There's a lot of like little pieces of stock footage where you see like snakes or insects and just fucked up shit happening in the wildlife that I thought just added to the feel of the movie. And I mean, the story does drag a little bit in the middle, but goddamn, is that final act so fucking good and like really, really strong. And sometimes like a slasher will be good and then the final act will fall flat. And this was the complete opposite of that. I mean, that was just pure 80s slasher goodness. And the final shot that we're left with right before the credits roll, I mean, that was kind of the chef's kiss on the whole movie for me. So overall, I really enjoyed this one a lot. And as of right now, I think it's my favorite of this season Slashtober. And I can see this movie also growing on me more as time goes on. I really want to double it with Just Before Dawn because I think that would make like a perfect in the woods double if slasher night.
Well, I don't love it like you do, Kruger. I think it's very middle of the road. I'm happy I saw it. This is my first time watching it, by the way. I thought I had seen it before, but I was wrong. I think the lack of actual kills on screen is what like did it for me, because it's very bright. Todd, I know you like colors. I'm not really a big fan. I prefer it like, you know, I like dark aesthetics. I prefer that a whole lot more. Cast was fine. I didn't really care for the killer's look and like the telling the story out of order or that time. I don't want to ruin everything, but it just didn't gel well all the way through. But I'm glad I saw it. It's good enough for me.
To be fair, everything in the 80s had pops. The colors all popped. Wasn't, yeah. But yes,
Well,
I like
was like-
colors.
I just wanted Cliffhanger. Like, maybe want to watch Cliffhanger. If that makes sense.
I'm actually kind of with you, Pugs, on this one. I've always kind of been middle of the road on this one. I mean, I have fun watching it, but it's not one I revisit that often. But I understand your love of that cover art. That is my favorite thing about this release. But it's worth watching. Again, it's not one I revisit that often. But yeah. Where do you land on this one?
All right, so just a little backstory on The Prey. This was actually shot in around 1979 over 2 weeks on 150 grand low budget. Shot around the same time as Friday the 13th. And of course, it didn't come out till later. This is kind of an odd one. There's also that alternate cut with the extra footage explaining the whole gypsy thing, the gypsy cut, I believe they call it. It kind of gets more into the backstory. I think the short theatrical cut is probably the way to go. But
Well, maybe that's the one I should have watched then.
But you know, it's not hard to imagine. Just the theatrical cut just begins with the fire, and
the theatrical cut is the director's approved version. The other cut is one that the producers threw that footage in. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's like a fan. This one's got a unique history, and I should say the director and his wife, who is also his wife Summer Brown, who was a writer on this. They were known for adult films. The director made 1001 Erotic Nights series, Irresistible, which is a classic adult sex comedy. The Prey was his only quote unquote legit film, and he quickly returned to adult movies.
Stay in your lane, right on.
Yeah, for sure. This has probably the most. So first off, I'll start with the good. It was shot in Idlewild, California. Beautiful footage, beautiful area. I think the fires have affected it in recent years, sadly. But
so it's pretty accurate then.
yeah. It's also the final film of Jackie Coogan, Uncle Fester, who plays the sheriff, which was sad. Doesn't have a whole lot to do in this. He just kind of some goofy comedy about sandwiches, more or less. There's a lot of padding in this for a short movie. There's a ton of nature footage. It kind of adds to the atmosphere, I suppose, a little bit here. It's not as bad as you would think. And Carol Stryken, who plays the killer in this, he, of course, was known for Twin Peaks, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, Men in Black. Born to play this kind of killer, and a super nice guy. He's not in this very much. I think he looks okay. I don't like when we get the full reveal that he's getting shoved to the ground, basically, off the bat. I felt like they could have done more to establish him as, you know, a strong killer. I like this movie well enough, but I'm going to say it's nothing special. As far as like forest slashers or in the woods slashers, I mean, it's below The Burning, Rituals, a personal fave, Madman, Just Before Dawn that Kruger mentioned. This one is just a very average slasher. I will say it's worth looking at the alternate cut because you will recognize adult talent such as the great John Leslie, Eric Edwards. Well, most people watching our show will probably recognize
That's a good point.
Arcadia Lake, some old school golden era adult stars playing some of the gypsy characters.
Racist.
Yeah, this one is just okay. There is the atmosphere there. I would. It's hard to recommend this if you don't really love some of these 80s slashers. I don't feel like this is going to win over a lot of new fans.
Not a beginner slasher.
Yeah.
You have to really appreciate the genre in general to enjoy this one, which, makes sense, Kruger.
Yeah.
So, and there's not a lot in terms of highlights in terms of the kills, but it is a
that tree
very
one,
average.
Though. The tree one, dude, that's all I needed.
Yeah, I needed the killer to be a little bit more, I don't know, intimidating for me, but it's just fine. It's just a fine movie.
If you watch the movie as Toxic Avenger went on like a coke binge in the middle of the woods,
well, see, now you're gonna make me rewatch.
Now it's like 5 fucking stars.
Yeah. I'll say this though, Toxie ain't going down like.
No, this is true.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's why he was all coked up. So
there you go.
It weakens his powers.
Rituals, though, I'm going to throw that out there. That doesn't get talked about enough. Rituals is a great.
Al Halbrook.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You add that to your list. That's a fine film. That's a great film. This is just a fine film.
All right. Well, Len, let's give this one a rating so we can get to business.
I am a 3.5 out of 5.
All right.
2.5 out of 5.
Dan?
I'm a generous 2.5 out of 5.
I am also a 2.5 out of 5. So all right, time for elimination. We have up for elimination Pickaxe, Death on Demand, Graduation Day, and The Prey. Kruger, what do you say? I know Pickaxe. Okay, Pugs.
Crazy Lake.
We already eliminated Crazy Lake.
What? Yeah, what's it? I thought
it's Pickaxe, Death on Demand, Graduation Day.
And we did.
The Prey. Yeah, we. Yeah,
Pickaxe.
Pickaxe. Okay, Dan.
For me on this one, Graduation Day I put above it. Watching it again, surprisingly. So I've got to eliminate The Prey. It's barely average for me. It's not a particularly strong film. So The Prey I vote out.
Being it that it's my lowest rated of the films, I also have to go with The Prey.
Son of a fucking bitch.
I mean, it's not like some hidden gem. I mean, that's the thing. I can't.
I just don't want fucking Pickaxe here anymore. God damn
we
it.
got some heavy hitters towards the end, I think. So.
And you look at it, I mean, it's not like the killer.
All right, fuck off. Eliminate The Prey. I don't want to fucking.
I won't be dumb this time and say it wrong.
So there's no fight on
that for it.
All right.
I mean, he's big, he's intimidating, but he gets knocked
my favorite fucking movie gets eliminated. Fucking
this is the
one you don't fucking like. He said that in the
yeah. This is my favorite so far.
God damn it, Dan!
Really?
Did you guys not listen when he fucking said
it? They drowned me out. It's all right.
Okay.
Just making sure Dan doesn't say something off color.
No, I mean, I don't hate the movie. It's just it's a lot of fun on this.
I was worried Dan was going to say Graduation Day. Then I have the quandary of I was going to say The Prey always, but then it's like Trauma or Pickaxe, and it's not top tier Trauma. So I would have had a whole thing going on, but luckily Dan said The Prey.
In my head, I
could have split it, but no.
I probably would have put The Prey in my memory a little bit above Graduation Day, but then watching them again, I'm like, no, the Graduation Day is much better. So
I disagree wholeheartedly, but
so R.I.P. The Prey spun the wheel of death, and Vanna White found it last.
Oh, you're just trying to get Kruger to snap on you. Kruger, you're doing very well today. I'm very like. All right, I don't have to go to the heart monitor today.
Right, Kruger?
Exactly.
All right.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Let's wrap.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Have a happy Halloween season, and join us next time when Slashtober, the final chapter, returns.
Good evening.
Pickaxe.
Check your candy. I'll see you in Disneyland.